Welcome to Sportpen.
Hey there.
Today we're doing a deep dive into, well, an absolute giant of baseball, Derek Jeter. We've gone through all the material you sent us, articles, notes, the works, to really trace his journey.
That's right. And the mission here is to unpack those pivotal moments, that incredible determination, and the performances that just changed games, turning him from a high school pick into, a legend.
We want to explore what really defines greatness, how athletes like Jeter kind of rewrite the sports narrative, all based on this material we've got.
Exactly. Should be fascinating.
Okay, so let's dive in. The sources really zero in on 1992, the draft.
The 6th overall pick. Yankees grabbed this young shortstop, draft number 1992-1292. That was Jeter.
And it wasn't just, we drafted a good player. The sources frame it as, the cornerstone, the start of this unexpected Yankees dynasty rebirth.
Yeah, the spark, really. And what's interesting is how he learned the game. His education wasn't classrooms.
No, it was all baseball fields. Greensboro, Tampa, Columbus, Albany, working his way up, intensely focused.
Right. And he had these mentors, the source calls them baseball professors.
Yeah, guys like Gary Denbo, Brian Butterfield, Gene Michael, they pop up a lot.
And he was apparently this prized pupil, just soaked it all up, had this insatiable appetite for knowledge about baseball.
That commitment, it makes you think of that phrase, luck is the residue of design.
Good point. Yes, there's opportunity, but he was designing his readiness for it.
You see hints of it right from the start, too. That old scouting report.
Oh, yeah, quite telling. It mentioned his arm strength specifically. Above average, good carry, quick release.
For a high school kid, that's significant. They said it was beyond the level you would expect.
And that little detail about him running out the last grounder in BP.
Yeah, hints at that work ethic early on. It's pretty amazing how accurate that initial prediction was, looking back.
But it wasn't a straight lineup from there. Not at all. That second pro season. Wow.
Hey, man. The sources call it miserable, and you can see why. He made 56 errors playing shortstop.
56. That's almost one every other game. Imagine the pressure. He's the big number one pick.
And the older guys are looking sideways like, wait, this kid is our guy.
Exactly. That skepticism must have been tough.
The sources frame this as the ultimate test, a real fork in the road. It could have gone a completely different way for him.
Definitely highlights that determination, that perseverance he needed just to get through it.
So fast forward, he doesn't just survive that. He ends up becoming the captain.
Right. Even with all those huge names on the team, Clemens, Bernie Williams, Messina, Mo Posada, Petit, established stars.
And the sources try to get at why him. What was it? It wasn't just talent.
No, there was this popularity, this genuine likability factor, especially in New York. One source says he was the guy that every girl wanted to be with and every guy wanted to hang out with.
That's some serious charisma. And it feeds into the on-field stuff, too.
Absolutely. It all kind of blended together into this Captain Clutch persona. He just had this knack for the big moment when the pressure was insane.
That ability to perform under pressure. The source is connected to getting into the flow state, being totally locked in.
Yeah, that mental edge. It's what separates the great ones when it really matters.
And you see it in those iconic plays. The flip in the 2001 ALDS.
Oh, absolutely legendary.
Yeah.
The sources don't just call it a great play. They say it showed he was more than a player. He was magical, almost unreal.
Felt like it. And then his 3,000th hit, that walk-off single at home.
Yeah, one source tells it from Anton and Richardson's view being waved home. The adrenaline.
Yeah.
And that feeling like the great ones leave the party in style.
Chills. Just puts you right there.
So it wasn't just flashes. It was the sustained run. 20 years he was thrilling fans.
Setting a standard, not just playing well, but how he carried himself. Sportsmanship.
And the numbers back it up. 6th all-time in hits. Career line, what was it? .310 average, .377 on base, .448 slugging, plus 358 steals. Just incredible consistency.
And that consistency drove unbelievable team success. 5 World Series rings.
5. Including 4 in his first 5 seasons. That's just staggering.
Those teams were monsters. That 98 Yankees team. The sources always put them among the best ever.
No question, and he was right at the heart of it.
Okay, but here's where it gets a bit more complex. The sources really dig into the defense debate.
Right. This is always the interesting part of the Jeter conversation.
Because if you look at the advanced metrics, some sources point out, well, statistically, he ranks pretty low among long-term shortstops.
Yeah, mostly due to range limitations, the stats suggest. And playing that demanding position for so long, those numbers accumulate. Longevity kind of worked against him statistically there.
But then you have the counter-arguments, which the sources also lay out. His arm was strong, his hands were soft. Everyone acknowledged those tools.
Mm-hmm. And some argue, look, if he'd played third base, his defense would probably be seen as, perfectly fine, maybe even above average.
And the biggest counterpoint, maybe?
The rings.
Exactly. They won 5 championships with him anchoring shortstop. So however limited the stats say his range was, it clearly didn't stop them from winning. A lot.
It really makes you think about perception versus the numbers in sports, doesn't it? His popularity, the winning, that narrative often overshadowed the defensive analytics for a lot of people.
Yeah, the story the public bought into versus the spreadsheets.
So, stepping back, what are the bigger lessons here about leadership, about greatness, according to the sources?
Well, his commitment comes through loud and clear. Winning was paramount. That's one thing.
And the idea that leaders need good people around them, that symbiotic thing between him and the core group he came up with, Rivera, Posada, Petit, mutual support.
Right. And the sources talk about how great teams, great leaders, they show up when things are tough, not just when it's easy. Finding ways to win during the bad times, that resilience.
That's a defining trait. They draw parallels to other big sports figures there.
And his fame, being the captain, that was huge too. Like Beckham or Palmer, using that celebrity status, it made it incredibly marketable, added this whole other dimension.
Definitely. And underlying it all, the sources constantly point to work ethic.
Oh, yeah. Worked harder than anyone else at it. That phrase comes up, connecting the effort directly to the passion and the success.
Mm-hmm. They even contrast that intense sports training focus with, say, how development might work in business. It's just all-consuming in elite sports.
Now, moving toward the end of his career and beyond, there were still big challenges.
For sure. The sources mentioned that 2004 ALCS loss, blowing a 3-0 lead to Boston. That was just unprecedented, especially with how good that Yankees team was on paper.
Brutal. And then there was that difficult contract negotiation later on, very public.
Yeah, that changed the relationship with the Yankees a bit, inevitably. The sources kind of framed that as this weird, unofficial hazing process that superstars sometimes go through.
Post-playing, he went into ownership with the Marlins.
Right. And the sources note that came with its own share of criticism, maybe seen as unfinished business in his story.
But the Hall of Fame induction, that felt like the real punctuation mark on the playing career.
Absolutely. Cooperstown was packed with Yankees fans. Just an outpouring.
And his speech was quite revealing, according to the sources. He talked about, not being perfect, making mistakes.
But trying to do the right thing, finding passion, working hard. He said 0 regrets about playing. Only wish his daughters could have seen that part of his life.
Yeah, that was powerful. And talking about lessons off the field being key, and his hopes for his daughters, dream big, believe.
Yeah.
He's there for them.
It felt like this real shift, from representing the Yankees in New York to now representing his family above all.
So we've hit the draft, the struggles, the clutch moments, the titles, the stats debate, leadership. It all circles back to that big question. What is a sports legend?
Yeah. So maybe for you, the listener, here's something to chew on. When you look at a figure like Jeter, what's the exact mix? How much is the tangible stuff, the stats, the wins? How much is the intangible, the determination, the clutch gene?
And those iconic moments that just stick in your memory, plus the whole public persona, how do all those pieces fit together to create that legend status?
And maybe also, how much does an athlete sharing or not sharing their own story influence how we ultimately remember them? Does that shape the narrative?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.